everyone, welcome back to Open Here with me, Enby Andy, and thank you for coming back to watch the latest YouTube video. And as usual, we're going to discuss the kind of trials and tribulations that non-binary people face in the UK. And we have the 3 topics that have been sent in by people who watch the videos to discuss and see if we can get to the bottom of them. And then we can also ask you to send some questions in for next week. So we're in the middle of a heat wave here in the UK. And I mean, right now it's 29 degrees. That's bloody hot. I'm not coping well, but thank Jeebus, I can actually wear sundresses now. I'm not stuck in shorts and t-shirts and things. I can wear what I want, and really this is the kind of weather which is just crying out for something light and nice. And yeah, if you're non-binary and you're in the heat wave, wear what you want, wear what you're comfortable in. It's too hot to be worried about what people think. Wear something that is safe to do and just enjoy the weather. Try and get rid of your t-shirt tans like I'm trying to do. So the 3 topics for this week, we're going to be discussing number 1, dealing with imposter syndrome. Number 2, I identify as an attack helicopter. And number 3, what do I do if I misgender you? So number 1 then, dealing with imposter syndrome. Now, that is something which I experience every day. Now, I am comfortable with my gender identity. I'm gender fluid, I'm non-binary. I know who I am, I know how I feel on the inside, and I still get the worry sometimes that, you know, you get the imposter syndrome creeping in, you get that doubt. What am I doing? Do I belong in this space? Am I doing the right thing? And it's not me questioning my gender identity. I know who I am. It's more worry from the outside creeping in to affecting how I feel on the inside. And I'm sure I'm not the only non-binary person to feel like this. I'm not going to be the only person affected by imposter syndrome. I mean, obviously it can happen in any kind of situation, in any kind of walk of life, in any person. But when it comes to your gender identity, it's not a nice feeling. It's something inside telling you that you're fake and you're not. You belong here. And I think it's important when this kind of thing happens, you need to try and seek validation. Now, I mentioned on previous videos, you know, you shouldn't live for validation from other people. You need to be comfortable with yourself. But your friends and your family, if they accept you, that's what they're there for. They're there to help you in these uncomfortable moments when you're not quite feeling confident, you're not quite feeling yourself. Then you should fall back on your friends and family. You should ask them for support, ask them for guidance. And do you know what, if you're not feeling exactly right, speak to them, get some help. Speak to me, I'll happily validate you, because we are valid and you do belong here. And if you have that little niggle of imposter syndrome in the back of your head, shut it out, close it down, you belong here. So on to topic 2, I identify as an attack helicopter. Bullshit. It's an attack. Honestly, I've had this recently where people are using the transphobic trope of I identify as, and it's a stupid attack to people such as myself who can say, well, I identify as non-binary, to take yourself out of the gender binary, the gender norm of men and women. And people do it to attack us, to hurt us, to get a rise from us, because they don't believe it. They just want to, they believe there's only men and women. They don't believe there's anything in between. And that kind of trope, it's probably the most common one that's used against people like ourselves. And how do we defeat it? I mean, it's with education. We've just had Non-Binary Awareness Week, and that is an important week to raise awareness of what being non-binary means and how we feel, and also what non-binary isn't. You know, it's not being androgynous, and it's not having to use a certain set of pronouns all the time. So education is definitely one way to beat it. Being resilient as well, and being able to, we shouldn't have to take those attacks on the chin, but take those attacks on the chin and just ignore the haters. Block them out. Block them on social media as well. And move on, because you know who you are and you know that you're brilliant. So those attacks are just wasted energy from the people who are trying to use them on us. And I mean, if you look now at the statistics for how many of the LGBTQ plus youth are non-binary, the awareness of who we are and what we are is growing all the time, and so is the amount of people who are identifying as non-binary. So the longer time goes on, the more we exist, the more non-binary people will be, because I don't believe we're made to fit into the gender norms of man or woman. I think, there's such a massive spectrum and scope of different experiences which you can identify as. It's an outdated, I think men and women, it's an outdated thing, and it's going to change. So on to question 3, the final question. What do I do if I misgender you? As long as it's not malicious, as long as you're not doing it on purpose, fine. I'll correct you. It's if you've known someone for quite a long time and they've changed their pronouns. For example, as you may know, my pronouns are they, them. Obviously, for 36 years of my life, I use the pronouns he, him. And if you've known me all the time, and it may be a little bit difficult to start with to use my new pronouns of they, them. If it's not done maliciously, if it's not done with ill intent, if it's just a mistake, it's fine. People make mistakes when changes happen. It's nothing to worry about. I'll correct you and say, oh, come on, it's they. It's when we get people who are malicious, that's when it isn't very nice. So if you're making the effort, if you're doing your best to support your friends and family, if they've come out as non-binary, or someone at work, anyone you know, make the effort to remember how to do it. But if you make mistakes, if they're honest mistakes, we're not going to tear you down. We're not going to really hate you. We're not going to complain or anything like that. We're just going to, we're going to correct you. If you do get people who are misgendering you on purpose, and they're doing it to hurt, to cause harm, because they don't accept you, especially if it's somewhere like you're at work, you do need to do something about it. You do need to maybe speak to your union, speak to your manager, and take action, because we should be accepted at work. We shouldn't have to hide who we are. We shouldn't have to pretend to be something that we're not. And if you're getting that kind of abuse at work from a colleague, no, do something about it. Complain to your manager, raise it, and take action, because you shouldn't have to get that where you just work. So again, one thing you can do is you can just practice in your head. If someone's just come out to you and they're using new pronouns, just replay a few scenarios in your head to get used to how they want to be referred to. So it's not a massive deal. I don't think I've ever heard anyone ever saying, oh, excuse me, did you just assume my gender? Again, that's another kind of anti-trans, anti-envy trope. Nobody does that. Just be honest, do what you can, practice, and if you make a mistake, admit it, say, I'm sorry, and then we'll move on. Just make some effort and you'll do fine. So those are the 3 topics we had for this week. And as usual, what I need from you people is comments on the YouTube channel. So hit down below. Any kind of questions, any kind of queries you have about being non-binary, if you're having you question your gender identity yourself, or you've got friends or your family, someone you know who you love is possibly going through a patch where they're unsure or they've just come out and you want some help and support on how to support them, reach out to me and we'll get in touch and we'll discuss it and we can put it into the next videos in the future. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to the video as per usual. And in the meantime, we'll speak to you next week. So stay safe, stay friendly, and I'll speak to you then. Take care.